Hey everyone, Foss here. The past couple of challenges I've taken on were brutal. Completing a challenge with only Love Disc was probably not the best way to introduce myself to a new generation of Pokemon that I've never played before, but I somehow got through it. Oh, and don't even get me started on that Oddish only run I did a couple rounds back. I think it's time to do another Nuzlocke this time, but let's switch it up yet again. I've seen a couple other YouTubers taking on games using just a single type of Pokemon, termed a Monolocke. I figure why not learn another generation of Pokemon by taking on my most difficult challenge yet. Let's see if I can beat a Pokémon Platinum Nuzlocke with a team of only electric Pokemon. Maybe this doesn't sound too bad right now, until you realize that the first gym uses Rock-type Pokemon and the Elite Four members have numerous Pokemon with access to Earthquake, which could easily one-shot most of the Pokemon that I'll be able to capture along the way. Speaking of Pokemon, let's see what's available to us in this run. There appears to be a lot of viable options here. That is until we take a closer look at what it actually takes to capture most of these. The legendaries will be off the table, as they require us to transfer them from another game or at least beat the Elite Four prior to capturing them. A few others, like Voltorb, Mareep, and Electric, can only be found once Swarm battles are available to us. And Minun and Plusle can only be found in the Trophy Garden as a daily Pokemon, which are both post-game situations. The last one that will be unavailable to us is Chinchou, which is only available once you can get the Super Rod, which is also only available in the post-game. That leaves me with just these 8 Pokemon as obtainable options. Only Shinx and Pachirisu are available prior to the 3rd gym, so the beginning of this run could be rough to say the least. What are the rules to this challenge? We'll follow the typical Nuzlocke rules, so we can only catch the first electric Pokemon encounter on each route, and if that Pokemon dies, it'll be released back into the wild. There are no duplicates, including Pokemon within the same evolution line. There are no items in battle, except for held items, no glitches or exploits, and if I white out, I must restart the run. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below. Also remember to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for more videos like this in the near future. If you want to watch me take on these challenges live, follow me on Twitch to be part of the action as it happens. I'm usually streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 PM Central Time, but with all that out of the way, let's get to the actual video. The day was young, the sun was shining, and my ADHD friend Chat here decided that today was a good day to just ruin everything. After scurrying throughout my room, he was gone in a flash, threatening to steal all the money that my family had to their name. Confused about what just happened, I decided to pay a little visit to Jesus, Chat, slow the f down. After recovering from my concussion, we head north to meet up with Professor Rowan and his assistant Don. The professor offers us our first Pokemon, for which we choose Chimchar. You may have expected me to choose Piplup here, as Torterra would have been the most difficult for us to defeat. But after failing this run miserably at least 15 times to that Pokemon, I fear I could give myself a little break this time by giving me the upper hand against my rival throughout this run for once. Even with the type advantage, Chat stood no chance during our first of mini battles as Piplup went down rather easily. We then make our way to Lake Verity, where we are confronted by this blue-haired gentleman who will likely not play a role in this game whatsoever. Wasting no time at all, I continue on to Route 202 to add the first Pokemon to my... Oh. Whoops. Well, this is awkward. Shinx is the only Pokemon I can catch prior to the first gym, so I guess I really have no option but to restart the run already. So I do just that, completing everything the exact same way that I did only moments before. This time Chimchar's scratch brings Shinx down to red health, allowing us to capture it and name it something clever, which according to Chat, was Cumin. At level 3, Cumin is useless. It can barely hold its own against a level 3 Bidoof, so after each battle, I return to the Pokestone to heal up before heading back into the grass to take on a single battle before repeating the process yet again. Taking a look at Cumin's learn set, there's not any viable options for taking on the first gym if I do not level up past the gym leader's ace. Sure, I could teach a return, but even after spending the time to bring it to max friendship, I was still relying solely on crit hits in order to get through the gym trainers of the first gym, let alone the leader. But if I could get Shinx to level 15 so that it evolves, and then it learns Bite at level 17, then maybe this gym is a lot more doable. I continue on until I meet up with Don at Jubilee City. It's here that we're confronted by this strange gentleman hiding behind a light pole that's about 1/5 his size. His name is Lurker, which he definitely is not, and we'll come back to him a little bit later on. At this point, Cumin knows Spark, so our battle against Chat was no problem whatsoever as his Starly and Piplup go down to a single shot each. Our journey continues on towards Oreburgh City. While battling Pokemon on the way there, Shinx evolved into Luxio and learned Bite along the way. So with that, it was time to take on the first gym in the region. Like I said before, Rorik's team of Rock-type monsters is a brutal one with only electric Pokemon on their side. He leads a Geodude who is able to withstand quite a few bites, while also returning the favor with a few rock throws. After flinching on 2 straight bites, Onix finally goes down but leaves Cumin with only 18 HP to spare. Out comes Craniodos, and the first bite flinches him as well. His second bite brings him down to yellow health, and he retaliates with a headbutt to bring Human down to only a sliver of health. Luckily for me, Rorik must have used all of his potions on Geodude, so one more bite was enough to take down the little rock dinosaur to earn us the first badge of the region. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this could be much easier for me from here. Following this battle, I head north of town to add Geodude to the team, which will allow me to traverse the caves through the use of Rock Smash. Since my electric Pokemon won't be able to learn all the HMs, I'll have to catch a few random Pokemon along the way as HM slaves. I then return to Jubilife City, where I come across Professor Rowan and Dawn confronting a couple blue-haired gentlemen yet again. After making quick work of their pathetic teams, I make my way further down the path until I arrive at Valley Windworks. It's here that I add Pachirisu to the team. I name it Fidge after my most recent subscriber, and this, along with the Shinx line, are the only Pokemon I'll have to use for quite some time. Valley Windworks is also home to one of the most difficult Team Galactic battles in the game. Commander Mars starts off strong with Zubat, but after taking that out with a single shot, the real threat comes out in the form of a level 17 Purugly. I had lost this battle numerous times on previous runs, so I made sure to train up a little bit more this time around. It starts off with Fake Out, which crit hits to take Human down to about half health. I take the time to lower its defense with Leer prior to using Spark, which brings it down to red health and also paralyzes it. This paralysis allows Human to outspeed it, so one more Spark takes it out. Without that paralysis, I would have had to rely on Fidge to finish this battle off, which is why I chose to use Leer with Human earlier in the battle. But with that, we defeated Commander Mars, and we're moving on to the next leg of our journey. From there, I continue north until I arrive at Eterna Forest, and it's here that I meet Cheryl. She requests that I accompany her through the forest, and seeing that she has a Chansey that's going to heal us up after each battle, I happily oblige. Little does she know that she's actually going to be a ton of help for me for this next section of the game. Getting the free heal after each battle means that I can grind levels here on double battles much quicker without ever having to return back to the Poke Center. I spend the remainder of the stream grinding levels until I felt that I was ready to take on the next gym. The beginning of my next stream brought me to Eterna City. It's here that I meet up with Chat, who brings me to see this golden statue of Dialga. It turns out that this statue is mysteriously missing the placard from the front, and nobody knows who could have stolen it. My guess would be the guy that's standing awfully close to where that placard used to be. But what do I know? I had lost a few times before in this next gym, and I wasn't going to risk ending the run here yet again. So I took some time to evolve Luxio into Luxray. After completing the painfully slow clock puzzle in this gym, it was time to take on Gardenia and her team of grass Pokemon. She leads a Turtwig, which gets off a Reflect before going down. Seeing the Spark as a special move, Reflect shouldn't really make much of a difference here. Charm was on next and eventually gets off a Leech Seed, so I switch into Fidge to end its effect. Fidge too gets seeded, but was able to stall long enough for Reflect to wear off, so I switch back into Cumin to take out Charm with a single bite. Roserade was out last, and Bite brings it down to red health, but it recovers some HP through the use of a Citrus Berry. It then gets off a Stun Spore and a Grass Knot to deal some decent damage, but Cumin fights through the paralysis to take it out with one more bite. With that, we have defeated Gardenia and earned ourselves the second badge of the Sinnoh region. Before leaving town, I make my way into the Team Galactic headquarters where... Wait, did he just change out of his disguise right in front of all these people? Are you gonna tell me that this guy here didn't see anything suspicious? Nope, absolutely clueless. This game is stupid. I then grab myself a bike before finally leaving town to make my way towards Hearthome City. It's here that I meet up with a lady named Bibi, who is the creator of the Pokemon storage system. Sorry Bill, I guess she beat you to it. She gifts me with an Eevee, which I choose to name Dawn Soap. Speaking of our video sponsor Dawn Soap, did you know they could get 10% off by using my promo code DocFuzzum at checkout at dawndishsoap.com? Nah, I'm joking. But that really makes me think. How random would it be for a dish soap company to actually sponsor a gaming video? Most people are like, hey, download Raid Shadow Legends and get $1,000 in free in-game content, along with an exclusive streamer swag bag by using my promo code. While I'm over here like, hey, save the petroleum-covered ducks through the use of this dish detergent. But remember to use my code at checkout to get 20 cents off. Alright, I'll invoice down for those 15 seconds of advertisement at a later time. Let's move on. And then continue on to the next important step of our journey. The contest hall. I chose Fidge as my contestant, and come on, you can't tell me that this beautiful specimen isn't gonna win. Fun fact, we got dead last. Who would have guessed? Okay, that's enough messing around. Let's take on another gym. Fantina and her team of ghost Pokemon was up next, and this really wasn't much of a problem overall. Her Duskull, Miss Magius, and Haunter all go down to a single shot from Bite to earn us the third badge of the region. As I make my way out of town, I meet up with Chat, who challenges us to another battle. This one went on a little longer than I would have hoped. Both Staravia and Ponyta go down to a single shot, and the XP from these battles allows Cumin to learn Thunderfang. Prinplup was able to withstand the first Thunderfang, but goes down on the next turn to Spark. Roselia was out last, and this thing was a nightmare. Not only was it using Stun Spore to gain priority, but it also spammed both Leech Seed and Mega Drain to consistently replenish its HP while slowly whittling away at both Cumin and Fidge. It eventually goes down to witness the fight over our rival with no casualties under our belt up until this point. On my way to the next town, I make a pit stop at the Salacion Ruins to get myself a Thunderstone, which I use to evolve Dawn Soap into Jolteon, giving me the third member of our team. Wasting no time at all, I make my way to the Veilstone City Gym to take on Maylene and her team of Fighting-type Pokemon. The Medicham that she leads off with was an easy one-shot, but the Lucario that was out next was able to deal some damage with Force Palm before finally going down. Out last was Machoke, who was able to withstand a couple shots, but after missing a Rock Tomb and dealing minimal damage with Strength, it too went down to earn us the Veilstone City Gym badge, therefore marking the halfway point in our journey. Before leaving town, Don and I meet up with Looker at the Galactic hideout. It's here where he conveniently finds me that HM for Fly just laying on the floor before I make my way towards the Pastoria City Gym. This water-type gym should be a cakewalk for my team of electric Pokemon, and I forgot that I need to fight chat first. Well, good thing I just healed up my team before this. Fidge is heading the team at this point, so I use it to take out both Staravia and Ponyta through the use of a couple discharges. As Prinplup comes out, I realize that Fidge won't cut it as Discharge does next to no damage, so I switch to Cumin to finish it off. Last though was the always annoying Roselia, which eventually goes down to a couple returns to defeat her rival once again. That went better than I thought it would have, but I can't say the same about the gym trainers. Especially this fisherman with Whiscash. If you didn't know, Whiscash is a water ground type, meaning the electric moves will not affect it. Not only that, but it also has outrageously high defense and access to the ground type move Magnitude and Earthquake. It's apparently also quite lightweight for being a huge catfish, as Fidge's Grass Knot does next to nothing to it before it brings the power of Tectonic Forces into play to one-shot Fidge and hand us the first loss of this run. Cumin comes in next and is able to take it out, but upon assessing Crasher Wake's team, I decided we would be better off grinding up some levels before actually taking him on. I make my way back to Route 213 to do just that. I finally return to the gym once Dawn Soap has reached level 43. Surprisingly, the Water Onyx that was out first was able to survive a Thunderfang with only a sliver of health. It then deals some decent damage with Waterfall before going down to a second Thunderfang from Dawn. Quagsire was out next, and this is the true reason why I chose to grind up some levels before taking on Wake's team. It is also part ground type, so our electric moves will be useless. I take this opportunity to sand attack Quagsire's accuracy into oblivion, and after landing 6 of them, I felt I could safely switch into Cumin. It's eventually able to take out the derpy water monster through the use of Crunch while taking a little bit of damage from Rock Tomb along the way. Floatzel was out last, but with the ability to use electric moves yet again, the rest of this battle was rather easy. After way too much stress from a quote-unquote easy gym, I'd finally earned the 5th badge of the region. From there, I head towards the Great Marsh to add some Jesus! Dang it, Team Galactic, could you not? After chasing down our artisan friend, I make quick work of his pathetic team before arriving at the Trophy Garden to add another member to my team. Like I mentioned earlier, if this is the post-game, I would be able to add Plusle or Minun to the team here, but at this point I can only add Pichu or Pikachu depending on which one I find first. After a few minutes of searching, I add Pichu, aka Coaster, to the team. Honestly, I can't wait to actually have Raichu on my team. This is a Pokemon that I never get to use, and Coaster is kind of a bitch. So, there's that. I then make my way to Canalave City. Chat decides to ambush me yet again, but the results are much the same as the last time as Cumin wipes his entire team without taking much damage in return. I continue on to take on the next gym of the region. The Canalave City Gym consists of Steel-type Pokemon, who could be quite tough to take on with only electric Pokemon and physical moves. Exhibit A. And now that Cumin is the last remaining member of the team, I figure that I should probably find her some backup. Upon searching the Pokédex, I find I can now capture Magnemite. And after a few minutes, I'm able to add Lil Chungus to the team. After grinding up a few more levels in Mount Coronet, I was able to evolve Lil Chungus into Magneton, and then into Magnezone. I spent another hour or so grinding up a few more levels until I finally get Magnezone to level 56. At this point, I figured now would be an okay time to take on Byron. He leads with Magneton, and Lil Chungus was able to take it out rather easily without taking much damage in return. Steelix was out next, and it knows Earthquake, which could possibly take out Lil Chungus with just a single shot if it actually lands. I decide to risk it, and Lil Chungus hangs on and takes out the Steel Snake with a couple of mirror shots. Byron's final Pokemon, Bastiodon, was out last. Luckily, its Stone Edge and Mirror Shot weren't doing a whole lot of damage, but as Cumin is brought down to red health, Byron heals Bastiodon with a full restore. After doing less than half its health and damage through another Thunderfang, I had no choice but to switch back into Little Chungus, who tanks his Stone Edge and finishes off the Fossilized Rock with one last discharge to earn us the Mind Badge. After bandaging up our wounded soldiers, I meet up with Don, Chat, and the professor in the library to discuss legendary lake spirits. Just as we decided we're going to capture these spirits and make them our own, another explosion rocks our world, and it turns out that Team Galactic was at it again. I make my way to Lake Valor to find Team Galactic in the midst of a Magikarp genocide. I give their commander Saturn a piece of my mind, and I show them that I'm the only person in this game who can abuse Pokemon. His team of Golbat, Toxicroak, and Bronzor each go down to a single discharge from Little Chungus. The story is much the same for Commander Mars over at Lake Verity, where I arrive just in time to save Don. With this win, we can finally forget about Team Galactic for now and move on. So I head on to Route 217, which I'm not going to lie reminds me a lot of the weather around here, and I grab myself the HM for rock climb before proceeding on to the next gym. The Snowpoint City Gym consists of Ice-type Pokemon. Now that Little Chungus knows Flash Cannon in addition to Mirror Shot, this gym should be rather easy considering the Ice-type Pokemon are weak to both of these moves. So after only a couple minutes, Candace's team of Sneasel, Mamoswine, Abomasnow, and Frostlass all go down to a single shot each, earning us the second to the last badge of the region. I then make my way to the Team Galactic hideout, where I sneak up on a meeting with Looker. We stand completely out of sight, literally 3 feet away from the nearest member, until the meeting concludes. Next thing you know, the entire group is gone, and Looker is absolutely dumbfounded on where they could have gone. I'm just wondering how the hell they didn't see us in the first place. We catch up with Cyrus, and after taking out his team, I'm able to claim my rightful spot as the leader of Team Galactic. I make my way deeper into the hideout to finally free the 3 lake spirits before continuing on to the... Okay, can somebody please tell me what's going on here? Well, apparently Cyrus casually used the red chain to summon Dialga and Palkia, who eventually led to the arrival of Giratina, who opens up a portal to the Distortion World, where I am again tasked to save the world from the evil that it holds. These games are ridiculous. I eventually make my way through the overly confusing maze to find our old pal Cyrus. Little Chungus does what he does best by single-handedly wiping Cyrus's entire team. Once he was out of the way, it was time to take on the box legendary of the game. Giratina is one of the toughest legendaries in all of Pokemon. I'm just hoping that my team has enough left in the tank to be able to power through this battle, and yeah, I just caught out with the Master Ball. Upon leaving the Distortion World, I make my way to Route 222 to add an Electabuzz named Lemon Pepper to the team, before continuing on to Route 223 to put on a few more levels before taking on the next gym. After getting Lemon Pepper to level 45, it was time to take on the final gym of the region. Volkner is here to solely torment me with the team that I could have had. He leads off with a Jolteon, who is able to hold on with only a sliver of health after a critical hit return. Volkner then heals it to full health, as another return does far less damage. Cumin then shakes off paralysis from Thunder Wave through the use of a Cherry Berry before taking out Jolteon with another return. Raichu is out next, and again survives with only 1 HP from a critical hit crunch, paralyzing Cumin in the process due to his static ability. Focus Blast from Raichu does some okay damage before it finally goes down. Then came Electivire, and seeing that Cumin would be slowed due to paralysis, I decided to switch it out for Little Chungus. A couple super effective fire punches does surprisingly low damage, and after a couple of flash cannons, Electivire 2 holds on with just a single hit point before restoring some health through the use of a Citrus Berry. It then crit hits the next fire punch to bring Little Chungus down to low health before finally going down itself. And this brings out Volkner's final Pokemon, Luxray. I immediately switch into Lemon Pepper, who takes some decent damage from Crunch. Thunderbolt then does next to nothing, and the Fire Fang from Luxray takes out my favorite seasoning on the next turn. I send out Little Chungus yet again, hoping they can finish off Luxray with another Flash Cannon. It, in fact, does not. So it too goes down to the power of Luxray. I was down to my last hope. And that means we're getting some Luxray on Luxray action here. Cumin is able to withstand the first crunch, but it's paralyzed so it's unable to attack on the next turn. One more crunch from Luxray was not quite enough to take out Cumin though, as it holds on with just 14 HP. Cumin is able to get off a discharge, which was enough to take out Volkner's last Pokemon and earns the final badge of the Sinnoh region. At this point, the team is in shambles. As we heal Cumin back to full health, we think back at all the friends that she lost along the way. It seems only right that our first partner is the one that survives this long. Our list of catchable Pokemon went from 8 to only 1 at this point. But that means we can give Cumin some company heading into the Elite Four. I head back to the Eterna Forest, where I'm able to enter the old chateau to add a Rotom named Scrub Daddy to the team. I spent an entire stream, plus most of the next day, grinding levels in Victory Road before finally making my way into the Pokemon League. Before heading inside, I make my way around the map to get a couple last minute TMs. I found Iron Tail in the Iron Islands, Thunderbolt behind Valley Windworks, and purchased Hidden Power at the Game Corner. Let's take a look at the team before heading into the final leg of the challenge. Scrub Daddy at this point was level 80. It has the ability to Levitate, which could be extremely helpful when it comes to Bertha's ground-type Pokemon. Its moveset consists of Discharge, Confuse Ray, Omnis Wind, and Dark Pulse, which actually gives me some unique type coverage options. Cumin, on the other hand, is all the way up at level 93 thanks to the use of the EXP share that I used to level up Scrub Daddy. It has Rivalry, which will boost its attack when fighting against Pokemon of the same gender. It knows Return, a Fire-type Hidden Power, Thunderbolt, and Iron Tail, which again will give me some decent type coverages going into these final battles. Let's see if we can do this. I guess I need to take on a rival one last time. All this battle really did was give me a taste of how well off we were going into the Elite Four. Scrub Daddy was able to single-handedly take out his entire team, while only losing just over half its health. So now on to the real challenge. Aaron and his team of bug Pokemon were up first. He leads with Yanmega and I lead with Scrub Daddy, who was able to outspeed and take it out with a single discharge. Sizer was out next, and I figured Cumin would be a better option since it has access to the Fire-type Hidden Power. It takes a small amount of damage before taking Sizer out with a single Hidden Power, so Heracross was out next. It was able to withstand the first Hidden Power, but it misses the Mega Horn before being healed back to full health with the Full Restore. This makes no difference though, as a couple more shots was enough to take it out, bringing out Vespiquen. Its single Thunderbolt drops the Queen Bee, so Drapion was all that stood between me and my first victory at the Elite Four. Hidden Power does meager damage to say the least, but so does the Cross Poison from Drapion. Return, on the other hand, stops this little bug to put Aaron in his rightful place, begging for mercy at my feet. We continue on until we arrive at what will likely be the largest hurdle going forward. The battle with Bertha. She leads with Whiscash, and I immediately switch into Scrub Daddy to evade the Earthquake thanks to Rotom's Levitate ability. A couple ominous winds from Scrub Daddy was enough to take out the oversized catfish and bring out a Hippo instead. Hippowdon's ability whips up a Sandstorm before Scrub Daddy is able to take it out with a couple of Dark Pulses. Hippowdon was able to get off a yawn along the way, so Rotom is asleep as Rhyperior comes out. Rockwrecker is one powerful move, and sadly Scrub Daddy had to find out the hard way as it goes down to just a single shot. Then out comes Cumin, who was able to take out the Rock Giant with just a single Iron Tail. Golem was out next, and it too goes down to a single Iron Tail, so Bertha's final Pokemon, Gliscor, was out last. Return does some huge damage and brings Gliscor down to red health. It retaliates with Earthquake to bring Cumin down to less than half health. But 2 more returns was enough to take it out and finally end this stressful battle. With Bertha out of the way, there was only one more major challenge I could think of in the Elite Four, which I'll talk about more when the time comes. Third up was Flint and his team of Fire-type Pokemon. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to say about this battle. His Houndoom, Infernape, Flareon, Rapidash, and Magmortar all go down rather easily to the power of our overleveled Cumin and her stab-boosted Thunderbolt. So after only about 4 minutes, we were moving on. Lucian was up next, and his team too was no match for the power of our overleveled Electric Kitty. His Mr. Mime goes down to a single return to bring out Bronzong, who's able to survive a couple of hidden powers before finally going down. Espeon was out next and took a couple of returns before finally going down, but was able to deal a little bit of damage with Psychic in the process. Alakazam goes down to a single return, as does the Gallade that comes out last, so with that, we've defeated all the members of the Elite Four. But just like almost every other Pokemon game, there's actually 5 battles in the Elite Four. So that brings us to the champion of the region, Cynthia. This battle had me sweating. I know she has a Garchomp with Earthquake, which could easily bring this run to an end with just a single shot. Not knowing what else to do, I threw a Citrus Berry on Cumin before heading into battle. Cynthia leads with Spiritomb, which surprisingly goes down to a single Thunderbolt. I guess I am 36 levels higher than at this point, so maybe this shouldn't have been such a surprise after all. Then out comes our biggest fear, Garchomp. I start off with a return, but this only brings it down to yellow health before it restores some HP with a Citrus Berry of its own. It then hits Cumin with an Earthquake. Will this actually end the run? No, it doesn't. It brings Cumin down to just under half health, triggering the Citrus Berry to heal it up to the point where it can easily withstand another shot unless it actually crit hits. We don't have to worry though, as the next return is a high roll and takes out Garchomp to end the agony for the time being. Monolocke was out next and easily went down to a Thunderbolt. Return was more than enough to take out the Roserade that was out next, so out comes Togekiss, who too goes down to a single shot from Thunderbolt. Lucario was now the only Pokemon that stood in the way of my title as the champion of the region. Out of excitement, I misclick on return, which does next to no damage, as Lucario hits us with an Aura Sphere. I follow that with a Thunderbolt, which takes out Lucario. So with that, we've defeated Cynthia and claimed her rightful place in the Hall of Fame. What an absolute Cinderella story with Cumin standing by her side from the very beginning. She, along with the ghost of Scrub Daddy I guess, are the only ones that are able to accompany me as I claim my new title as champion of the Sinnoh region. That run was brutal. I started this challenge as something to hold me over until Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out, but it ended up taking me so long to beat that Legends Arceus was released before I actually finished this run. After 16 attempts, I can finally say that I've completed my first ever Monolocke challenge. And that's going to do for today's video. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing to see more videos like this in the future. Also remember to let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. I'm having a ton of fun doing these challenges. They'll take me quite some time to complete and edit outside my usual 40-hour work week. If you want to check out some of the other Pokemon challenges that I've already completed, check out the playlist on the channel. I've completed a few solo runs in Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Black, as well as a couple of randomizer Nuzlockes of Heart Gold and Alpha Sapphire. If you want to be part of the action as it happens, come join me on Twitch, link in the description below. With all that out of the way, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.